Good morning, everyone. It is December the 28th, 2025. We're inching our way towards the new year. Today I want to talk about healthcare violence. And I've talked a bit about it, about the ambulance drivers and our first responders and that are getting attacked by people and threatened with violence as well. This video came out earlier in December. I'm going to put it up now. It's on our emergency wards now that are experiencing violence, and this is quite shocking. I think this is out in Saskatchewan somewhere, and just what we have to do to protect ourselves. And it's not the free democratic world I certainly grew up in, where we didn't have to worry about going through metal detectors and that on high security situations that we have to go through today. We're clearance, and now they want fingerprints, and they want this, and they want that. And I think when I look back on the situation, how 9/11 actually changed the world towards this, what we're seeing today, because of all the violence and that, and how we have to protect ourselves. Because, I mean, after 9/11, it shook up the world pretty good, and governments around the world, and people were starting to slowly take a look at security. And I know it started with some of our government buildings here, where they used to just have the commissionaires, who were usually retired people from the Army, the Navy, that sort of thing, would be just sitting there checking people in and out. And then it got to the point then they had to have passes, and they had these stalls, so you had to go through and put your pass on it, and the door would open so you could get into the other main. Well, you got into the main doors were fine, but this was just to get up to the elevators. You had to tap your card for your ID and that to get in to work. And so I was seeing some of these changes, and it started off slowly. It was mostly the government were thinking we have to protect our government buildings and certain things in government. And then as society just rolled along, it just kept getting worse and worse. And of course now it's ridiculous, because now you see it in the courthouse. A few years ago, now you have to go through the metal detectors and get checked out just to get into the courthouse. And you used to be able to freely walk into the courthouse. That was a big change for people. And I mean, this has just happened recently, in the last year and a half or so, with City Hall now. When you walk in, you have to go through certain procedures to make sure that you're not going to go in and with a hand grenade or threatening one of our city councilors in any way. And it just keeps continuing. And of course, I was brought up, well, violence only makes more violence, and that's what's happening right now. And our world is going through a transformation period like I know our seniors have never seen before. It's the generation before us that certainly went through, as I said, the two wars and that, and they saw the change. Well, I don't know where this is going to last or go, but it just seems to be more and more security. We're losing our personal information, thanks to the criminals that are also upping their talents, shall we say, and getting into things through the internet, and the fraud scams, and everything we're seeing today is just being upped and upped. And where is this going to lead? I have no idea, but it's going to be a rough period that we're going through. Hopefully we can do this without having to create more violence. None of us want the violence. We all want peace. The wars that seem to be lagging on, that are in full force right now in the world as well, and leaders that don't know how to lead properly, but think of themselves first, and forget that they've got a country that they're leading. It's all on them too. And then we have the responsible leaders who are actually trying to do something and make sure that we are safe, but in a good way, and that we do not lose our democracy. So we're in quite the battle right now. But I'm going to put this video up, and it's just one of the emergency wards that spoke out and what they're dealing with right now too. And this is becoming more of a thing as well. So they're looking for metal detectors and things to, how do they protect themselves. So I'm just going to put this video up that came out earlier this month, and see what people think on it, and start to realize we have to change our ways, literally. And something we need to think about in the new year coming is how can we do things better? Not make things worse, but how can we do things better? So everyone, take care, have a super day, and watch your surroundings, and we'll talk again later. Bye-bye.